Zavyalova needs 8 for a title. Bang!
There's the emotion.
There it is.
Boom! Jordan Richard.
Champion again.
Position round is underway, and Jordan Richard wastes no time. She is in desperate need of a win and a lot of things to go her way at this point. Also, she's facing Dasha Kovalova in what is the 7 versus 8. Left of your screen includes Breanna Clemmer, currently in 5th place, and Kelly Kulik, who is 74 pins behind Breanna Clemmer. If Kelly is to overtake Clemmer right off the bat, she would need to win by 45 pins. Your 1-2, of course, is Jane Sin versus Diana Zavyalova. Jane Sin is all but done it. And she's just a 1 win away, just from adding a 16th win to her credit. 5-2 today, 5-3 this morning, 5-3 last night. So steady. Zavyalova is 43 pins in front of Verity Crawley. Crawley is 3rd at plus 1007. Stephanie Johnson is 4th at plus 926. So we start here. We will take a look back and forth between channels 4 and 3. Those are the 2 main channels regarding the top 8 players who can still affect things. Very outside shot at both Dasha Kovalova and Maria Jose Rodriguez. With the unfortunate 164 game, Brianna Cote's run is probably over. But what a valiant effort by the defending champion.
Absolutely.
What has to happen, both Hope and Sid, and I'm not talking about obviously just from a score perspective, but we were talking about Kelly, for example, and you both thought that Kelly's ball reaction was getting better. So thinking about the players in play currently for a spot on this show, what do the players need to see to make them feel good just right off the bat about ball reaction and how they can make a run potentially to the show?
Yeah.
I don't really feel like this 5-6 match is about ball reaction at all. For me, it's about patience because the ball reaction is not going to be magically good. Like Kelly has good ball reaction, B. Clem has good ball reaction, but there's not going to be a ball reaction that allows them to miss by a ton or have these execution errors. So between Kelly and B. Clem, I think it's mostly staying mentally in the match for 10 entire frames, because whoever slips up for a frame or 2 is going to be the person that's not on the show.
A lot does need to go down. Now, there's plenty of movement opportunity amongst the seeding purposes, right? Jane Sin's pretty much locked into the number 1 seed. We could have movement between 2 and 3, just like Diana and Verity have been kind of trading places throughout the day. Great movie, by the way. Stephanie Johnson, obviously Breanna Clemmer, they're separated by 5 pins for 4th and 5th. And then, of course, again, 74 pins sits Kelly Kulik behind Clemmer in 6th place. Kulik with the early double. Jordan Richard, strike, spare, strike. Over on channel 3, Stephanie Johnson has opened with a double. Verity looking to handle a 10-pin. I'm sure most of you already got multiple tabs open.
The first blemish amongst the top 8 is Brie Clem with that split in the 2nd. Still early. Early in the game still, but it's the first hiccup.
Well, you know, the with every strike, Kelly is just a fan favorite no matter where we go. But with every strike, that gallery will slowly start to build down there. Kovalova with a spare. Dasha has been a little bit up and down, but I'll tell you, pretty proud just watching from the resistance perspective. She stayed in. A great shot by Clemmer. Dasha has had some moments this season to where she's been in position to make some shows and has faltered late, but I feel like throughout it all this week, she's been good across the board. And, you know, again, the pattern is the pattern, and so it has affected everyone in some degree. But I thought she's bowled very well.
Yeah,
I would agree. Yeah.
She's just been steady.
Jose Rodriguez nearly made the 310 the hard way. Just keep eyes on Maria just because she is 102 pins back in ninth.
She's gone the spare open so far.
Kelly Kulik.
All right, good break.
Nearly the 710. We've seen that lead. We saw it actually on 47 and 48 a couple of games ago. Again, the live televised finals will take place tomorrow night. Crew's in here already setting up, of course. CBS Sports Network.
Yeah, anytime Kelly gets one to the right down lane, it hasn't really two-pinned, interestingly. It gets back to the 1-3, but it's a matter of if it's going to 7-10 or leave a pocket 7 or 10 independently of each other. So if you're Kel in this position, it's, you know, you leave the weak 10 instead of the 7-10. It's like, okay, I can make this one, you know, instead of having a circle around an 8.
Definitely goal one is to be clean, right? Can't afford to have opens, especially late in the game for this round. Speaking strictly for, you know, Johnson, Clemmer, Kulik, and Richard. Well, and Dasha. All of them. Everybody.
There's Jordan, who's traded strikes. This has been the good lane, and it continues to be. Right now, needs obviously.
She's got to find a way to double. She finishes on the right lane as well.
Kulik.
Oh, shaker.
Some to crumble.
Kelly, after her first frame, she came back and she was like pointing to her brain. Like, okay, we have to be here.
Stay in it. Stay in it.
Just even after the first frame, like, she's very aware of the situation.
All the best bowlers are.
Clemmer looking for her first major telecast appearance.
Good shot.
Big double. You should take a look at the replay from Kelly Kulik, the light mixer carry. We are entering a position where if it's not Kelly Kulik, Clemmer would be looking for her first major. Steph J will be looking for her second but first U.S. Women's Open title. Verity will be looking for her first major. Zavyalova looking for her first U.S. Women's Open title. In fact, Jane Sin, Zavyalova, and Crawley, again, minus things that are just supremely catastrophic, are about there.
Stephanie's 81 pins behind.
It was a great shot from B. Clem. Unfortunate to stuff a 7-pin there.
And even in the Steph J. Verity match, right, as you just mentioned, Hope, 81 pins separates Verity and Steph, so it would have to be a big game for Steph. And again, something crazy from Verity, but that doesn't look like it's happening, certainly from the start.
No, definitely not.
And for Verity, this is the best start you can ask for in that sense. Possibility, of course, 43 pins separate Verity from Diana, second and third. Nine spare for Clemmer in the fifth. Well, this is right here just all about Kelly Kulick. This is, the spotlight's been on Kelly for so long. She knows how to exactly handle it.
It's just crazy that as much as Kel has struggled today, and as many matches as she's unfortunately lost, we still are having a conversation that she could make the show.
That's what legends bring you. And she's a legend.
Great shot.
She's going to keep you
This is Jordan on the right lane.
in it.
Oh,
Another just full microcosm, I think, of just the day for Jordan.
yeah.
She won her first match today, folks, and has not won a match since. And that really, right now, it's just the difference in the standings. She is 1-6 today, and has lost several close matches, but two in the where she shot 220 and or 210.
She's only got 240 left with the win. Would give her 70.
Kelly comes in a tad bit late there, leaves a weak 10. And of course, Jordan goes high flush on the left lane.
Yeah.
Perfect on the left lane. Has been Jordan. That match moving very quickly. The Richard Kovalova match.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's definitely going to be done before Clemmer and Kulick wrap up. Again, movement opportunity still exists, so the Verity and Diana scores are supremely important. Especially if Jane Sin does defeat Diana. Tin pin taken care of for Dasha. Good bowling so far on between Richard and Kovalova. Same thing on the left side of your screen. Arm extended. Approach beginning. Ball on the lane. And two pin there for Breanna Clemmer.
It is definitely all about Kelly right now. Kelly and Bree match.
Everything else right now, just no one is doing anything that will put them in a detrimental spot of the players who are currently in the top five. Really, I should say the top four specifically. As we watch Kulick and Clemmer come down to it. Again, thank you all for hanging out with us for what has been almost a full week, beginning with the PTQ last Tuesday, practice sessions on last Wednesday, competition on Thursday beginning. Been a long but full week. When I say full, I mean full of everything we could ask for. Great shot for Jay Rich. Finally a double.
Getting that strike on the right lane.
Jordan's max is 240.
So if she were to finish out the 240 and get the win, it'd get her maximum total plus minus at 904.
Oh, that's a lucky hit there for Bree Clem. Misses way left. Gets away with the Brooklyn.
Jay Rich. And missing on the good lane there in the ninth. All right, Jordan's max score now 219. Dasha max at 228. Jameson, meanwhile, 4-bagger late against Zavyalova, who is clean with just 1 strike. Crawley and Johnson locked in a battle. Here's Kulik. No. Kelly with a 2-8-10. That is a momentum stopper right there.
Stephanie Johnson still clean through however many frames? 6, 7?
Kelly going to give this a run. Of course, she will get 1.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Oh.
How about that? So the max now for Kelly is 233.
There's a 2-8-10 for Verity as well. On channel 3.
This feels like a big shot here for Cal. To have any chance of beat Clem on the ropes here.
Kelly's max again, 233. Great shot. Clemmer pacing in the 193 range.
Verdi almost made that 2-8-10.
She did, almost in a similar fashion that we saw the 2-4-8-10 made by Lindsey Boomershine. Steph J, by the way, the max score of 254.
Big double for B. Clem.
Verity nearly left at 710. That's off camera again on channel 3, but Stephanie Johnson can max at 254. Again, the difference between Crawley and Johnson was 81 pins. Oh, how about that 3-bagger for Breanna Clemmer? And that just feels like that could have been the one.
It does, because Kelly has to win this match by 45, correct? 45 and get a win, right? So, barring that anything wild happens in the 10th frame, not feeling possible.
Zavyalova missed the single pin in the 8th frame, by the way. Her max is only 204. Again, those two were separated by just 43 pins. It would help since Verity was going to get a dub. Meanwhile, Kovalova with 206. Jordan Richard can get the victory here with 9 on the fill.
And a beautiful shot by Stephanie on channel 3. The strike for Jordan.
Finally a win for Jordan. She will add 38.
872.
Boy, Jordan was right there. Really there all day. Kulik. Great shot, but of course those two are now have the same max score. Man, it looks like Breanna Clemmer handling business late. We may not see any movement in our top 5. Stephanie Johnson off camera, well, just putting them down. For Kelly, boy, kind of like Jordan. I mean, I feel like they went through the same ride today. And it was not the one that, ended up where you felt good and you took some pictures on the roller coaster and everything was great. It was the opposite. The pictures that you don't like, those are the ones that they used. They were right there, hit some tough pairs, some close matches that went the other way. If you take almost at this point, any match that we watched today from both Kelly and Jordan that turned from a loss into a win, they both feel like they would have been on this show at this point.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think about how many pocket hits Kel had in the last 8 games alone. Just 1 or 2 or 3 more of those fall down in 8 games. It's not very many.
Just a quick look to give Stephanie Johnson her due. Well, she bowled really well. She's going to be 13 and 11. But had some big games today that allowed her to get to the show. Oh, Diana with back-to-back opens. You could have a late movement situation here. Nice game by Stephanie Johnson, 253. Back to Clemmer. Not quite the bucket and the biscuit, but still trouble nonetheless. Johnson unofficially at 10:09. Crawley can max at 214. Well, that is no longer in play. And now it's just 201. All right, Kelly.
Stephanie is going to pass Verity.
9:10 officially for Kelly Kulik. 9:18 there for Clemmer. Obviously, Bree is just fine. But as you just said, Steph J, again at 10:09. Verity can only get to 201. So it's going to be Jameson, certainly one. Zavyalova is not going to win her match. If she strikes, that's only 173. Her total would be 1023. She would be 2. Stephanie would be 3.
Verity 4.
Verity would be 4, and Clemmer would be 5.
Wow. That's huge for Stephanie.
Yeah, to get into a position and not have to bowl the first match
Yes.
is big.
Yeah.
Especially with this oil pattern, because the fresh has been so finicky that although Steph has had a great look on it, it is, I think, more beneficial to be guaranteed to get through that first match, not have to bowl it, be able
Yeah.
to observe, and then create a game plan for what the people before you and the practice has created.
Kelly made it as close as you can make it. The late three-bagger by Breanna Clemmer, the strike in the ninth, ultimately was the one. We thought Kelly might get there, folks. Someone, I always say Shannon Quick. She thought Kelly was going to be the top seed. Not the top seed, but still had a chance to make the show. She was in the top 5 for a good majority of match play, really until this morning, where it just went in the opposite direction. Pattern 4 will be on the lanes for the finals. Pattern 4 is the only pattern left in play. So it will be on the lanes for the stepladder.
Wow.
All right, bowling fans, let's give all of these ladies a huge, huge round of applause. Amazing week, 56 grueling games, 4 different patterns. Amazing competition this week. It is now my pleasure to introduce you to the top 5 for the live stepladder finals happening tomorrow evening. Our number 5 seed is making her first major telecast, looking for her second title overall from Cloper, South Carolina, Miss Breanna Clemmer.
Breanna Clemmer.
In the opening
Nice
match,
spinny
she will
cam.
face our number 4 seed, who is making her 4th stepladder finals appearance this year, looking for her first major title from England, Miss Verity Crowley. The winner of that match goes on to face our number 3 seed, looking for her second major championship, 18-time member of Team USA from McKinney, Texas, Miss Stephanie Johnson. Winner of that match goes on to face our number 2 seed in her second consecutive U.S. Women's Open stepladder appearance from Latvia, Diana Zavyalova. Winner of that match goes on to face our number 1 seed. She's looking for her 3rd title this season, making a strong case for Player of the Year from Malaysia, Lee Jane Sin. Ladies and gentlemen, these are your top 5 finalists for our stepladder here for the 2024 U.S. Women's Open. Who claims the eagle, the coveted green jacket, and 60 grand? The opportunity to put their name in history. Make sure you come out tomorrow, 7 p.m. for the live stepladder on CBS Sports Network. Thank you all for coming out all week. We hope to see you tomorrow. Have a great night.
The Curtis cam in full effect. Top seed again, Jane Sin from left to right. Diana Zavyalova is second. Stephanie Johnson, another chance at a major. Same thing with Diana Zavyalova, both looking for their first U.S. Women's Open titles. Same thing for Lee Jane Sin, looking for her first major. Verity looking for her first major. Breanna Clemmer looking for her first major. A lot going on. First and foremost, though, before we figure out who we can get into the booth,
Yeah.
I do want to thank Hope Gramley for hanging out both yesterday and today,
Yep.
for that matter. So we appreciate you. And
Thanks for having me.
sneak peek, but we might see some more of Hope potentially. Sneak peek, just an FYI. Keep a lookout tomorrow
Teaser.
for more Hope Gramley. Before you go, though, Hope,
Mm-hmm.
just give me a couple of thoughts based on, now that it's over, based on who made the show.
Yeah.
A couple things that maybe to help some of these folks win a U.S. Women's Open title tomorrow night.
I mean, it's going to be an exciting show for sure. Lee Jane Sin's been killing it all year so far, and so she's going to be hard to beat, especially that she's got a consistent ball reaction on this pattern, which is very rare amongst the ladies this week. So that'll be fun to watch. Verity can, very obviously put up some really huge numbers. if she gets comfortable, and she doesn't have to bowl in that first match, so she could be a threat as well. Diana, of course, this is her second consecutive U.S. Open show, so I know she's going to be coming in with a little fire under her butt, trying to get this thing done. And then, of course, you have Stephanie and Breanna Clemmer as well. They want it just as much as the others do, so they're going to do everything they can to climb that ladder and take out Lee Jameson. So
Appreciate your time. And again, we might see more of Hope tomorrow. Keep that in mind here on Bowl TV. Hope, have a great night, and see you tomorrow.
Yep. See you later, guys. Thank you.
All right, that is Hope Gramley. We will have someone. We'll figure out who that is in a moment. Okay. All right, let's see. Where would you like us, Mr. Producer? What we're waiting on, of course, is a lot of TV instructions, big TV instructions at this point. It's a major championship tomorrow night, folks. Congratulations, first and foremost, though, to everyone who did advance to match play. 24 games of match play, 56 games in total to get to this point. So just a full-on round of applause effort for all of the players. Jane Sin, a two-time champ already, looking for her first major title. Of course, TV interviews and such to go down as well. Diana Zavjalova has made 3 out of the last, now 4, U.S. Women's Open shows. Trying to get at least Breanna Clemmer, and if we can, Stephanie Johnson. Going to be the #3 and #5 seeds respectively. For Breanna Clem, injuries are tough. We've talked about injuries actually throughout the week. And for her season really to start in Nashville and just a few weeks later be on the shelf for the U.S. Women's Open is certainly impressive.
It feels big, too, because she was so bummed to miss the first 3 weeks, and she shared that pretty openly on social media. But, she had kind of a bummer of a week in southern Indiana. She got to cross with her, and she wasn't thrilled about it. And to come out here to the hardest event of the year, just solely based on number of games, and really propel herself in the top 5. It wasn't easy for her by any means. She had a lot of adversity throughout the week, so it was cool to watch. She also has the only 300 of the week.
That's
so
true.
It's awesome that she ended up in this top 5 having that.
First couple thoughts that come to mind, Sid, with this stepladder final and the players that are in it based on what we've seen. I do think Jane Sin will be difficult to beat in the top seed or from the top seed just because, as Hope mentioned, and as we've watched, consistent ball reaction was very difficult to come by today. She had it, and when she does have that, and it's very often that she does, she is typically near the top of the standings, and it's no different here. But how can anyone at this point, what do they have to do able to win matches and obviously defeat Jane Sin?
Yeah, for me, I think the only person that can get very close to what Jane is going to do is Steph Johnson. They can play the lanes similarly, and so Steph can, I guess, keep up with the pace of play of Jane. We saw that later on throughout this match play run from Steph. So I'm looking forward to seeing that battle, hopefully, between the two of them. Their styles have matched up to this quite well. They keep the ball in play, get it through the front part of the lane, and then down lane the ball doesn't try to do too much, which is what a lot of the players, it seemed like they were trying to create as we went throughout the 24 games of match play at least.
I want to give a shout out to Breanna Clemmer. We will have a new U.S. Women's Open champion, but Bree did a fantastic job, and really up until game 55. She shot 164. She was in it. She was as high as 7th, I believe, today. Just could not quite crack the top 5. I feel if she somehow got to the top 5 at any point today, you see that, and it kind of puts that extra charge, and you keep trying to climb that mountain. I talked about on the back stretch. She was there. She was close, slightly faded late in the race to the top 5. Breanna Clemmer holding on, big three-bagger late. Her game did not start that well in that position round, as Kelly Kulick started extremely well. In fact, Kelly had, I believe, 5 of the first 6 or 4 of the first 5. We are waiting for a couple of guests to join us in the booth after they receive their TV instructions. So for those of you who are hanging out, we appreciate it. I don't know if it's over, but the PBA 50 Senior U.S. Open Stepladder Finals also ongoing. It may be nearing its end at this point.
It's 2 years ago those BDP drums were $7.50. They're now $14.95. Yes, ma'am. All day long.
Big time. This is a major show, so the TV instructions are important. Looks like the show is still going on. Semi-final match. I'm seeing Pete versus JJ.
JJ.
Pete Weber taking on John Janowitz on the PBA 50 Senior Open. Again,
Is that the final?
if you're just joining us and somehow you missed what's been going down on Bowl TV, our top 5 has been determined. Jane Sin, your number 1 seed, will be looking for her first major title. Diana Zavjalova, who started the week off in record-setting fashion, is the number 2 seed. She has 2 Queen's titles to her credit, but is looking for her first U.S. Women's Open crown. She has made 3 of the last 4 U.S. Women's Opens. Of the players on the show with U.S. Women's Open TV-specific experience, DZ has made the most shows at the U.S. Women's Open. Of that group in particular, Stephanie Johnson, also a major champion, Players Championship in 2018. She is looking for her first U.S. Women's Open title. Verity Crawley has been knocking on the door for majors for now what seems to be a very long time. And Breanna Clemmer, of course, making her first career major show. She does have 1 PWBA title. Verity with 2. Steph with 3. Easy with 5. And Jameson with 3. Well, hopefully we can get you something in the next 2 to 3 minutes. We'll see what we can get for you. But that's the story at the moment. The TV pair will be 59 and 60. That is historic here at the Royal Pin Woodland. Interviews got to take place as well. So much to do. It feels like so little time, but there is some time. Not for us, but for the TV crew and certainly everyone involved. It's a late show tomorrow night.
7 p.m., yeah?
Yep,
Eastern
7
time?
p.m. Eastern time. So if you're not going to be home, make sure you set your DVRs for CBS Sports Network. Well, folks, if we'll give it a couple more minutes. We don't want to hold you too long. We don't know what's going to be the immediate needs for our TV finalists here as well.
It looks like we may be getting a B clip. That is what it looks like.
One important item, Sid, now these 5 players get a chance to make adjustments to their ball card.
Correct.
So they can now replace a ball, drill a ball, but it has to be replaced or exchanged. Obviously, they can't add to it without removing something. The number still has to be 10
Correct.
at the end of the day. All right, Breanna Clemmer is going to join us here shortly. All right, we are in the booth. Breanna Clemmer joining us. She has nabbed the 5th seed for the U.S. Women's Open show. Bree, you have made your first career major telecast. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What you feeling right now?
I'm still a little nervous. I'm not going to lie, a little shaky. Yeah, but I feel awesome. This is something I've dreamed about ever since I was a little girl and then coming out on tour. So just to be able to do that after an injury is really important to me. So
It's just actually what we talked about. You just started your tour season in Nashville after shortly being cleared, not before that, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a couple days,
it was like 2 days.
theoretically. To get from that point to this point in such a short time, how were you able to do this?
Well, honestly, I didn't go right back into it. I had my first practice back in Tennessee. I didn't want to push my body. I didn't want to do anything to stress out my foot more than what it already was. So I just went right into it head first and always learning. Tennessee was definitely a learning experience for me. So I just went into it head first and stay patient.
Yeah, you have a lot of family in the building too.
Yeah.
What was that like to have them here? Like, how much of a role did they play in your? It seemed like your patients today. What was that like?
Yeah, obviously having my grandparents here is super important to me. They got to watch me win my first title. They raised me, so having them here, it's very calming to me. It's very, very important. And they surprised me, like the day the tournament started, or it was like the day before. So just to have them here, that's always important to me. And then my uncle and my aunt only live 45 minutes from here. So I stayed with them for the first couple days and got to love on their puppies a little bit. So it's always important to have family time. It makes me feel comfortable. So just to see them behind me, that's all I really need.
What are you gonna do with the time between tonight and your first major telecast tomorrow?
Sleep. Sleep. Definitely rest my body. Ice bath for the foot. And, just soak in every single moment I have. It's very important with my family. So just to be able to be around them and spend most of the day with them is very nice.
Real quick, Bree, this pattern today and yesterday too, I mean, it proved to be very difficult, tricky, and it looked like it was very difficult for players to find consistency regarding ball reaction. What did you see and what ended up working for you across not just today, but this morning and even yesterday, 16 games?
Well, I talked to Jason, our ball rep, and Alexis Runk, previously known as Nair. And we talked about my ball surfaces, which normally I use 500 to 1,000. Well, that's a no bueno on this. So we took bigger ASIMs up to 3,000 and then polish. And I was really able to stay in those all day, besides getting into a theorem here or there. But we made the bold move on 49 and 50 to go to an extreme envy, and it looked awesome. And that's what my eye likes to see. And so I stuck with it going down to bowl against Kelly because I was like, my eye doesn't see anything else that I like. This is what I want to see. This is what I want to stick with. And then I was told to throw it slow, which really isn't my strong suit. But trying to calm the nerves and slow it down, that's something that they've been telling me this whole week. Roll it, throw it slow, take a deep breath. So that was kind of the game plan going into today.
Bree, congratulations. Enjoy and get some rest, certainly.
Yes, thank you.
All right, that is Breanna Clemmer. We will have her step out momentarily. We'll have try to get a little bit of Stephanie Johnson in the booth if that's possible. I know, of course, all of the TV finalists have some initial responsibilities for television specifically. Patrick is also doing multiple things. He's grabbing signatures and strike songs and such. And we will get Steph here in just 1 second. She's talking to one of her reps, probably preparing for what's next for ball cards and such for tomorrow. Family. A lot of surprises this week.
There were.
Not on the lanes, but again, family surprising.
Yeah, B.
players.
Clem, Brie Cote, her mom came, and her friends. Just so cool.
All right, we will have Stephanie Johnson here in just a second, and then after Steph, we will then close things out. This is a high traffic area, so we'll have Steph, and then we will call it a day or an evening because there's a lot of stuff happening. All right, so just in case, Barbara, the time for tomorrow is 7 p.m. Eastern. 7 p.m. Eastern. 7 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports Network. Again, 7 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports Network. All right, folks, we got Stephanie Johnson now, your number 3 seed here at the U.S. Women's Open. Steph, congratulations. I feel like just a slow and steady trend upward for you this entire week. And here you are, at a chance to win your first U.S. Women's Open.
I can breathe now. I feel like I've been holding my breath for 24 games. I don't even know where to start. This was hard. I feel like I bowl my best when my back's against the wall. I've been in that position many times. I came into today with, I don't know, I was like 150 out or so, which honestly is nothing with all the bonus pins. But I had no expectations. I didn't put any added pressure, I guess you'd call it, on myself. I convinced myself that I was just going to come out here and make shots, the best ones that I could, try to read the lane. I kind of had my progression, which is always helpful, and then just commit to it. Because I think as players, sometimes we second guess that, and that's where you get into trouble. But I tried to keep it simple. I never got super excited, and I never got super low. I mean, I can go back and look at all of those games that I gave away many wins, honestly, with fill balls. But then I can also go look back and all the games that I struck to win. So I think they even themselves out, but I'm just beyond ecstatic. That's the best word I could use right now. I can't wait to go eat a zebra cake.
I was waiting for it.
There's one at the house.
I was waiting for that.
So talk to us a little bit about what's the number one piece of experience you're going to bring into this telecast that, you'd bring from, your first major win now into potentially having a green jacket. What's that look like in your head?
Oh gosh. I think for me, it's always just process driven. I cannot control anything other than what I'm doing. And sometimes I feel like I don't even do that. But, we're going to drill some balls just to have some options because you just never know. We're bowling on a pair that we haven't bowled on at all. So that's always tricky. But, I'm going to go into tomorrow just with a grateful heart and just the fact that I get to do what I love and my family gets to watch me. They're the reason I get to do what I do. And I FaceTimed them at lunch. I had the best little lunch by myself. And it was just a reminder that bowling's great, and I love to compete, but it doesn't define my life, right? Like I get to go home to my family, win or lose. And that right there for me is the win, where I can just bowl because I love it. And I think that's, I don't say the difference, but I believe I'm the only mom on the show, right?
To our knowledge,
Yep,
yes.
yeah. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, I'm just going to go into tomorrow and have no expectations. Just going to play.
Does it? Sid just talked about experience, and you've got a couple of shows under your belt on specifically regarding U.S. Women's Open. TV shows are TV shows, but does that experience in this tournament help you at all tomorrow?
I mean, it is different. Obviously, I made the show a couple weeks ago, and that wasn't technically, on TV. But the stakes are still the same. We want to win. Every girl that's going to bowl tomorrow wants to win. And, I think the experience helps that you've been in that position before. But I most certainly don't let it, overtake just enjoying the moment, because whatever's going to happen tomorrow will be fantastic. And I'm just gonna enjoy it.
Excellent. Steph, congratulations.
But first, I'm gonna go enjoy my zebra
And
cake.
get yourself a zebra cake. And we will see you tomorrow.
Congrats, Steph.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye, Mom. Bye, Kenzie. Bye, Levi. I love you. Bye, Chris.
Well earned right there. Well earned zebra cake for Stephanie Johnson. 60,000, of course, to the winner tomorrow. Stephanie Johnson out of the booth. And Sydney Brumman and I will close out our extended post-game show. Jason Thomas is somewhere saying, you got to get off the air. And I know he laughed just when I said that. But I had to talk to at least somebody. It's very important we don't get every day where we get some players to make their first U.S. Women's Open telecast. Again, Jane Sin, Diana Zavjalova, Verity Crawley. I'm sorry, Jane Sin, Diana Zavjalova, Stephanie Johnson, Verity Crawley, Breanna Clemmer. What a show. It's going to be fantastic. We talked about it a little bit, but it seemed like a few minutes ago. Sid, just your thoughts on the overall grand scheme of the show and maybe 1 point on how each player might be able to pull this thing off tomorrow.
Yeah, for Jane, she's played just such a simple season. Every time we talk to her,
That's right.
It's just clean and clear and simple. And so for Jane, I think it's just sticking to her game plan. I think she'll be fun to watch. Maybe we'll see some more emotion out of her. That could be fun. So just being herself would be the number one thing. And for Verity, I don't know. Verity feels like she's been knocking on the door for forever. So just accepting that it's her time, like just opening the door, allowing it to happen. And Stephanie, she said she's going to play with a grateful heart. So I'm going to lean on that. That's what she needs to do in her own words. And DZ has been executing at a high level, but she needs a better game plan on the fresh. So I would assume that she's going to take that time to work with her tour team right now and execute that. But that will be the thing that she gets through. If she gets through that, she'll be great. And then for B. Clem, the nerves. She talked about she was nervous even still just right now. So it is her first major telecast. It would be her second title. That should not be overlooked. But it would be her first major, and that's a big deal. And it is a star-studded field. So she'll have to calm those nerves down and just stay patient.
We talked earlier today, folks, about looking over and seeing the amount of people that have won this title, won a U.S. Women's Open title, and that generally leads to future Hall of Fame status. So you can think about it in that way when you watch the show again tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to bring back Patrick just for one more time because if you are local, Patrick, where can people get tickets to tomorrow's show? There's only a few left. So if you want to be in the door, Patrick, how can they do that?
Well, pretty simple, Emil. You can call the Bowling Center at 317-844-4099 and ask for the program office. They're $45 a piece. Again, Emil just said it. They're selling out quick, so make sure you guys make that phone call again to 317-844-4099.
Thank you, sir. And speaking of Patrick, great job this week. It's been a blast. We appreciate you. Thank you so much, Sydney Brummett, for hanging out with us today.
Of course.
Through rounds 2 and 3. Want to thank Courtney Irma. She joined us for a little bit. Also, Hope Gramley, of course. Cecil Scarborough joined us this week, and all of our guests. Want to thank our entire tournament staff, led by Robin Graves and Gary Brown. Rick Barbera, of course, the GOAT of Brunswick scoring. Matt Langoff was here, courtesy of Brunswick this week as well. Donovan, Carolyn, Leah Zwei, Curtis Von Kruger, Ben Glasscock, everyone here at Royal Pin Woodland, just a phenomenal staff. What a great week and what a great host. The first time since 1996 the U.S. Women's Open was held here, and it's going to be another phenomenal show again. 7 p.m. Eastern. Do not miss it on CBS Sports Network. And by the way, shortly before the show, there will be a Bowl TV pregame show. So keep that in mind. Bowl TV pregame show will air at approximately 6:25 or so. So join us on Bowl TV and across all of our Bowl TV and USBC Facebook channels, as well as PWBA. So for Patrick, Sydney, and our entire crew, my name is Emil Williams Jr. It's been a phenomenal week here. Thanks to our gold partners, Lane Talk, Pepsi, I Am Bowling, Kegel, and Storm. Of course, Kegel, the official lane maintenance provider of the United States Bowling Congress and the PWBA. Speaking of USBC and BPA, thank you to all of their help and their respective boards, the PWBA athletes, and certainly you, the Bowl TV community. It's going to be a little bit of a break from a PWBA perspective from Bowl TV. The Lucy's coming up at the end of July. Next time you'll see PWBA from a national perspective on tour, but there is a PWBA regional coming up in July in Norman, Oklahoma, so stay tuned for that. So for the entire crew, again, my name is Emil Williams Jr. Catch the show, 7 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports Network, and on Bowl TV, pregame show, 6:25 p.m. tomorrow. This has been a presentation of the 2024 U.S. Women's Open. You watched it live and only on Bowl TV, and remember, bowling lives here. Good night.